No sneezing in class. I need a band to blow it up. That's what I need to do. I'm going to find a band. See who the band is going to do this. Sorry, guys can't be banners. Here's banners, not here. There you go. You need to blow it up. You just check. Get magnified up and down. Just make sure before I get drawing it, just make sure it's all the way down. So you can see this. If I get tired of fooling with it. Alright, first thing you want to do on this one is align your data vertically, not linearly. So that's the first thing. So when you get this problem on the test or homework, first thing you want to do is write your X, or not your X, but your interval or your classes, and your frequency, and if you're not using the spreadsheet, if you're doing it by hand, your next one will be X, and then X squared, and then F times X, and then what? F times X squared, that's right, guys. So this is the first thing you want to do if you're doing it by hand. And then, of course, this is 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and so on, 5, and 23. And I'll go ahead and do the first midpoint. 20 plus 29 is 49, half of 49, half of 50 is 25, so it would be 24.5. So 24.5, what's the class width? 10, so add 10 to this, and the next one will be what? 34.5. And then the rest of them we'll do on the spreadsheet. Okay? So that's how you'd start the problem off. Everybody's got a copy down. Just a couple of people. If you don't, I'm going to put them on the spreadsheet so you can copy them down there. So for those of you spreadsheet people or wanting to learn how to use a spreadsheet, you click on this button right here and you go to copy to table to clipboard. Then you go to your handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. And I usually go right in here and just hit paste or Control V or whatever. Alright, so there's your numbers. Now, if you're going to use the Excel spreadsheet, if you are a somewhat frequent user or a frequent user, notice I did not say people that don't know how to use. Did I say that? No. So don't be going telling people I'm making you use Excel. For those that know how to use it and are frequent users of Excel, I would go over here and put the lower class limit and the upper class limit. So that way you can calculate it. There is a way that you can actually do this without punching them in, but I'm not even going there because already people get mad at me for using it because they don't know how. So, sorry. It's a whole lot more organized to do it like this than me writing all over the place. I mean, you can see I pretty much suck when it comes to writing. I mean, look at that. If you want me to do a problem like this, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. 70 to 79. Alright, so all I did was I copied these two numbers right here. I just put them over here separately so I can calculate. Of course, I got to fix all these to center because I've got a quirk about that. There. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and change all these to old. And I pretty much like Arial. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to do my midpoint. And midpoint is called what? X. Now some of y'all that wasn't here the other day when we did this, you have to have a midpoint because you can't calculate with these guys. You can't. So what I'll do is I'll just highlight those red. The reason I'm highlighting them red is because you can't do anything with them. So you have to do something with those numbers so you can calculate. And what is that? That's the midpoint. And that's why I put these over here so I can calculate. Fish? Alright, so here we go. Midpoint. Equals, parentheses, the lower class limit plus the what? Upper class limit, and what do we do with them? Divide by 2. There's your midpoint. Now all you do is grab onto that little dot right there, hit your left mouse button, and pull them down. And those should be your midpoints. Pretty simple. Dang old 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade math. 3rd, 4th grade math. Alright, now these two I'm going to highlight green. Why am I going to highlight them green? Because I like green? No. Why? And I'm going to highlight this green. Why am I going to highlight those three things green? They go into your calculations. Exactly. Good job. Thanks for the interaction. Alright, so these three areas right here are going to be used in your calculations. So the first thing you do when you find one of these problems is you draw them vertically, and then you get those three columns. And take a highlighter and highlight them so you don't get confused. Where would you get confused? Well, you'll see me do it. When I go out to f times x or f times x squared over here, I'll pick the wrong column. I mean, it happens. Nobody's perfect. But the way that you avoid that is take your highlighter and highlight this column and highlight this column. And if you have to, just black that column out because it's worthless. And then when you do x squared, I'd put x squared over here somewhere. That's the way I usually do it. So my next one is x squared. And that's equal to this guy raised to the what? Shift 6, second power. Check your numbers. Now, for those of you that haven't done this column yet, do it on your calculator. Now, I don't know how many of y'all are on the silent calculator team in high school, okay? You know, the people that do the synchronized calculator stuff, okay. twirl the calculator with their finger, can't make change on the cash register. All right, those people, y'all, I'm not worried about y'all. Y'all go to the bathroom with your calculator. Okay, it's pretty sad, but the people that don't use their calculator very often, you need the you need the caret symbol. No, it's not a house top. If your teacher in high school called it a house top, I'm not going to say anything. It is the caret symbol right there. Dang old Arabic, dang old long time ago, dang old caret. Alright, and if you wanted to do 24.5, then you would type in, I don't know why that's coming up, 24.5, and then you'd hit the caret symbol to the second power. You want to take the square root of something? Take square root of 900 is 30, so 900 raised to the 0.5 power is 30. So that's how you use the caret symbol. For those of you that, any of you iPhone users find a application for the TI-83?
Not a free one.
Not a free one. How much does it cost?
One iPhone is like $10.
Okay. You found one for $5.99? Where is it? What's the app called? If you could find it for me. And Miss Robinson, if you could find yours, I'd appreciate it. I'm sorry, say the first part again. Okay, Graph Calc 83. So that's for that one. And what's the, Miss Robinson, what's yours?
Mine's loading things.
Okay. And if you got any questions about, now, you can do this through the TI-83. And the reason I don't show it is because most students don't want to do it. They'd rather do it on the Excel spreadsheet or learn how, because you don't have to what? You don't have to punch in all the numbers. So you can use it. I know you have to go through the list to do it. So I think it's stat, edit, and you have to put it in the list here. And I think you have to put, I don't think you can put it 20, I think you have to put it like, I don't know. I had one student do it, and she said she didn't want to do it that way. So she kind of flaked out on telling everybody else how to do it.
There is one $10 one, but I found one here that says like 99 cents.
Okay.
It says RK83 Scientific Graphing Calculator.
Okay, what is the TI-80? What's that app? So anybody that wants to go to it.
Mathematics with Pocket CAS Pro.
Okay. Why does iPhone make things so complicated?
Is that the one?
Yep. They don't have enough. So they want some more. It's all Bush's fault. Alright, now we've got x squared. So now we're going to move over. And I'm going to do two separate columns. And what are we going to do? F times x, good. And f times x squared. Oops, that don't look good. And here's where you got to be careful and pick the right column, because sometimes you mess up. Alright, so equals f times x and copy that down, and f times x squared and copy that down. And we'll color this one. I'm going to color it real dark green. And color this one blue. Let's not color that green. Let's color something else. How about that? And here are your two important sections because this is basically the first part of your, and what do we do down here? We got to sum them up. We got to do that for your formulas. And now you have your three numbers right here. There's your three numbers to put into the what? The formulas. So let's do the mean. What is the mean equal to for a frequency distribution? Summation of f times x over n, Hubert. That's right, class. Interaction kind of helps class go flow, you know. Lets me know that you know what you're doing. Appreciate it. So what is the summation of f times x? And that's at 4674. And we're going to divide that by, in fact, I'll just do it this way because that way you can have it for your notes since I'm trying to make y'all use Excel. That's what you're going to put in your calculator right there. And I'll blow it up. Well, you can't blow it up because I'm going to write on it. So, this, I'm going to take those fraction bars, put right here. There it is. Mean is equal to the summation of x, f times x, over the summation of f, which is n. There it is. Now somebody calculate that. What do you get? 46.3. And that is your mean. That is the number that has no variation across your data. Anybody got a question on that? So if you had all these numbers right here, 21, 23, 26, 26, 27, I ain't even going to do that, 71, 72, 78, 78, if you had all of these numbers like test scores, your mean would be that number we just got. Whatever it is. La la. There it is. Oh well, you get the point. Capiche? Add all those up. And the reason I keep asking y'all if y'all understand is because in Math 120 and 103, I would go over this like 5,000 times in class, and somebody will come up to me the day before the test and say, I really don't understand how to get the frequency distribution mean. That's why I want to make sure everybody understands it. Okay? Alright, now find the standard deviation. Do we still have everything for the standard deviation? Yes, the standard deviation. Dang old. Well, I'll just write it out. The mean of a frequency distribution is equal to the summation of f times x over the summation of f, or the summation of f times x over n. The standard deviation for frequency distribution is equal to the square root, and I put the first part, I do it in brackets, n times the summation of f times what? X squared, and close brackets and close braces, minus the summation of f times x quantity squared over n times n minus 1. Now if I leave the square root symbol off, what is it? I told y'all this relationship between the variance and the standard deviation. If I leave the square root symbol off the standard deviation, what is it? The variance. So let's bring that down, make a note. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to have a heart attack. On the cardio, what is it, infarction? And I have to get my side out and run around with it. So here, if I take, now watch this for those people that don't know, if I take this square root symbol off, then I don't have the standard deviation anymore, I have the variance. Now, is that very important? Not really. Not unless you're going to take the second what did I just call it? Variance. Unless you're going to take the second statistics course that we don't offer anymore. I think it's called 220. Clemson quit offering it because it was too hard. So they started offering 103, and we got to start at 104. Alright, so the same thing, only without the symbol. Sometimes will you be asked for the variance on homework and tests? Yes. If I give you a test question that has the variance, it's because it has the mean and standard deviation before it. I don't really care about the variance. Alright, so everybody's got that definition down, or that formula. So let's go back to our handy dandy spreadsheet. And I will do it just like I did this one. Right here, I will put it in the order it needs to be in the formula, and then you can plug it in your calculator as we go. So therefore, I'm not making you use the Excel spreadsheet. Let me move this thing out of the way. I don't think I'm going to have enough room. Let's see. Okay, I'll just go right here and we'll just keep on moving down. Alright, standard deviation is going to be equal to, and n is this number right here. And there we go. Times, okay, something is going on with my computer. I don't know what's going on. Y'all just have to bear with me, okay? It's just going crazy. And that's equal to, oh, I know what's going on. That number right here. F times x, no, f times x squared. Sorry. It's hard to see with the screen's going crazy. Here we go. And then we're going to minus this number, what? Raised to the second power, Hubert. That's right, class. Good. And all of that is going to be over n times what? n minus 1, which will be dang old 100. Now, if you use your calculator and don't use Excel, that's fine. Go ahead and type this in. Type it in as 3 steps. 101 times that BA number, have that number. Minus, and then you're going to type in 4674.5 raised to the second power, then you have that number, write it down, and then 100 times 101, and write those 3, and you'll have 3 numbers. Then you'll do the top, then you'll divide. So let's check those numbers. First one is going to be 101 times BA number, another BA number, and then this number raised to the second power. What should you know about the first number and the second number? What's the relationship? Why? So you won't take the square root of a negative, which will make your calculator blow up and send some of y'all into cardiac arrest. The ones that carry it to the bathroom with them. The ones that can't make a change at the cash register. That's what I need to do. I need to send y'all out for a bonus one weekend. Try to upset the cash register person. And y'all video it, and when y'all put it on YouTube. What do y'all think? You know, wait till your bill gets totaled up, $13.56, and give them $20.06 and watch your head explode. But you got to catch it on video, and then we'll put it on there. Huh? Why?
I work at cash register too. That is a pain.
No, it's called simple. No, it's not a pain. It's called simple A mathematics. That's what it's called. And if you can't do it, you shouldn't be on the cash register.
What really irritates me is people that, when they give you the bill and then after you put it into the cash register, they're like, "Oh wait, I have the change." You're just like, "Are you serious?"
Well, it makes your job easier. It makes your job easier. You don't have to give them change. You just give them dollar bills or 50 cents.
It's really irritating. It's just one of those
I don't
things.
think it's irritating.
I had somebody trying to pay me in Canadian dollars.
Well, that is irritating.
How do you calculate that one?
All right. This minus this, and then this is over. Now, just, gosh, this thing is just acting up. All right. So take your handy dandy virtual marker, and of course you're not going to do this because you don't have a virtual marker. And the reason I do this is for those people that don't know how to use Excel. You can just write this down in your notes and not worry about the formula anymore. That's the way you punch it in your calculator. And let's see what that equals. This number divided by this number, and that's 134 blah blah blah, and then I'm going to just go down here and put equals this number raised to the what? 0.5 power, or 1/2. You can put 1/2 in parentheses, but why would you? All you got to do is put 0.5. I got 11.6. What'd y'all get? Alright, so we got our mean up here. which is equal to this guy divided by this guy. All right, so our two very, very important numbers are, hold on a minute. I'm having a brain bubble. Y'all ever have brain bubbles? Okay. And this one. And we'll color it dang old yellow. And there's that one. And there's that one. All right, now draw your bell curve. And get used to drawing it. So if you suck at drawing like I do, then I'll tell you how to do it. You get you a handy dandy piece of paper, like a printer piece of paper, and you divide it into 8 squares. There's one down the middle, and draw and then run about 10 or 20 copies, because you're going to be drawing this curve from here on out till we get at least till chapter 6. So you might as well get used to doing it. I know it takes a lot of work to run off 10 copies of a sheet of paper. It takes a lot of work. Some of y'all might get it done by the end of the semester. So I'm just going to do it up here, because that way I won't have to worry about rounding it off. So what goes in the center? The mean. And then 2 to the right, what do you do to the 2 to the right? 2 standard deviations to the right. Right is add, so you add what? And what's the only other number? I love it when people say add what? Well, we only got 2 numbers right here.
So you wouldn't round it to 11.6?
You could. It depends on what the directions say in the question, or it don't matter to me. I mean, if you bring me an example and you have 11 and the answer is 11.6 and you round it to 12 just to add it on, I don't care. But on the directions of the test and the, you need to read it, as it'll say, to the 10th or whatever. So I'm going to say equals this number plus, and there's a quicker way to do this, but I'm not going to do it because it will confuse some people. So just do it separately. And there's your 2 standard deviations to the what? To the right. Now you're going to do 2 standard deviations to the left. Now what is left? Subtraction or minus. So take your mean. Now I'm going to go over this again because I'm going to tell you something. Out of 30 people, 5 or 6 of y'all are going, what are you doing? Okay? But I know it sounds simple to some people, but some people don't understand what I'm doing. I'm taking the mean and I'm adding the only number that I have. I have these 2 numbers right here. Take the mean, which is always the center. And y'all should know that. If anybody asks you, what did you learn out of probability and statistics? You say, I learned that the mean is always the center. Okay, you learned something. Alright, so that takes away putting the 11 in the middle. So that one's being used. If that one's being used, what's the only other number we're going to use besides this one? This one right here. And add is to the right. So you're going to add 46 plus 11, and that will give you 57. And then 57 plus 11 is 69. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just doing the whole numbers. Now this one is going to be 46 minus 11, which is 30, what, 5? Something around 35. So equals this guy minus 11. And then this guy is equal to this guy minus 11. Now there is your bell curve. Now you just take your handy dandy virtual marker. And there is your normal distribution. Now, everybody's got a book, turn to page 103. And that's where we're going to take off with today's class. On page 103, there is a rule that you need to remember, and you need to know it for the test. It's called the empirical rule. I hope I spelled empirical right. I always want to put an H in it. Is there an H in empirical? No, I spelled it wrong. I spelled empirical. All right, maybe that's a word. Empirical. And the empirical rule says that between two standard deviations, that's considered to be, my daughter is 16 now. She used to call it normal. And ever since she's called it normal, that's what I call it. Normal. Meaning normal. 95% of the population is going to fall between two standard deviations. Let's say that I measure y'all's heights in here. 95% of y'all are going to fall between two standard deviations, the norm. One person in here is going to be an outlier or unusual, which means, I don't know, 7 foot. Alright, that might be it. It all depends on what everybody's height is. And that's the way things usually work out. That's what Vegas depends on. Vegas depends on probability. And probability is based on this curve right here. And you can't have the curve unless you find the mean and the what? The standard deviation of your population or your sample. So you can't have the mean and standard deviation unless you go and weigh or measure everybody. Okay? And then you can't have your probability unless you have your normal distribution. And then you can't have your outliers unless you have the probability, or the odds unless you have the probability. So Vegas wouldn't exist. See what I mean? Now we're going to get the probability. When we get the probability, we're going to put the two together. After this Unit 1 test, we're going to chapter 4, we're going to put probability in the mix, and then in chapters 5 and 6, we'll put the two together. And then that's when we'll be talking about Vegas. Now, look on the outside of two standard deviations. On your, let's turn to page 103. For those that don't have a book because your printer broke or flood took your book down the river, or you're just lazy and didn't want to bring it. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have said that. Let's go with 3.3. I'm just going to pull up the book and then I'll type in page. I just want you to see it, so therefore you can't say, I didn't got a book, I didn't see it. This takes care of that excuse. My page 103 is not right. Okay? Well, there's the empirical rule, but it's supposed to have a picture. It's probably on the next page. There it is, 104. Sorry, 104. It starts on 103, but the picture that you need to know, or the graphic, is on page 104. There it is. So if you're too lazy to bring a book, or the printer blew up, or the cat peed on the printer, and grandmother died twice, and you just couldn't bring it today, there it is. So write it down. So therefore you can't say you didn't have it for the test, because that will be on the test. What's outside of two standard deviations? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Blow it up big as you can. What's outside of two standard deviations? Not the outlier. What does it say? Well, it should say it right here, does it? Outside of two standard deviations. 1, 2. This area right here is 2.5%. Now they say 2.14, but each book gives you different these. Some include the third standard deviation, some don't. If the third standard deviation is not included, this is 2.5. Capiche? That right there should equal around 2.5. I don't know. They do it different. Most don't go. Most call this 34. 13.5 is what they usually call this one. And 13.5 here, that leaves 0.09. That would make this 2.23. And 2.23 plus that's 2.36 which is right around 2.5. Usually this third standard deviation is 2.5. Make that note, because anywhere in a statistics book, that last standard deviation is going to be 2.5. All right, right here, I want you to write unusual. And right here, I want you to write unusual. Outside two standard deviations, outside the norm is called unusual. But that's only the third standard deviation. What about the fourth standard, outside three standard deviations? Then that's called the O word. What's that? Outlier, which is your 6 foot second grader. Taking a 189. So in this case, somebody, what was the mean? Round it to the nearest whole number. What's the mean in our last problem? Can you bring it down, Vanna, please? Okay, 44. Break it down more. Keep going. Keep going. Just hit it a little bit. There we go. All right, so 44 is right here. All right, what's the standard deviation rounded to the nearest? 12. So that would be, what, 56? And 12 would be 68. Somebody help me on the math, okay? And 68 would be what, 80? And 44 minus 12 is 30, what, 2? 32 minus 12 is 20. 20 minus 12 is what, 8? Let's say these are ages of people taking probability and statistics. What's normal? Normal would be between the ages of what? 20 and 68. Unusual would be between 68 and 80. And 8 years old and 20 years old would be unusual. What would be an outlier? A dang old 2-year-old or a dang old 100-year-old, that would be an outlier. Of course, I just made that up, so those are not realistic. I'm just making, I don't even know what those numbers were we were doing all the way. Could be the age of a fruit fly, I don't know. But I'm just saying, in order for you to understand the concept of normal distribution, you've got to understand the empirical rules. Most of the time, you go to 2 standard deviations, that's it, and then they ask you about the third standard deviation. They'll say, what is the highest for the third standard deviation? And you would say, what? 80 and what? 80. Comprende? All right, now what I want everybody to do is I'm going to give you another problem, and I want you to do it on your own. And then I'll show you why you should use the Excel spreadsheet. So let's go back to the handy dandy problems. And I think I did this one. I'm going to generate, what was our, somebody give me the standard deviation we got. Is that a different problem? Okay, well then let's do this one then. All right, Vanna, you can blow it up. Blow it up where everybody can see it. Thank you, ma'am. Vanna's going to get a free biscuit. Everybody's good. I ain't got y'all biscuits yet, have I? Okay, I'll have to do that. I get free biscuits just as long as nobody asks me what kind and where. Well, that's rude. When somebody gives you a free biscuit, you say what? Exactly. My daughter's phone is falling apart. Oh, just the end of the world. When are you finished? You are finished after you have drawn the normal distribution with 3 standard deviations to the left and 3 standard deviations to the right. And you can, if you want to round it up to a whole number to do the standard the curve, you can. But you might want to take your numbers to the 100, so that way you can round to the 10th if you need to. Who is it? Oh, okay. I knew he sold it. Kobe reminded me a lot of me when I was in college. Did he ever transfer to Clemson?
I saw him at the Milton campus recently. Unless he's taking classes at both.
He could be. I think he transferred. Tried to get him to be a math teacher. Who makes the best math teachers? Sorry, it's math students. That's who makes the best math teachers.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I saw him moving out somewhere from the
Well, that's nothing unusual.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
Just so long as you don't see your math teacher. That's okay. The screen keeps popping out. It won't let me type. Oh my gosh. 16-year-old iPhone messing up. Drama. Need a replacement. Oh, get me white. Did I tell you about my pigs? My pigs had piglets. Hope they ain't dead. I'll show you a picture of it. let's go to y'all's attendance. Make sure the bureaucrats are happy. Alright, Bailey. Which one's Bailey? Where's Bailey? I'm trying to learn some of y'all's names, so y'all bear with me. I'm not perving or anything, just looking. Bolt. You're Bolt. You from Anderson? What part of Anderson? West Anderson, North Anderson? I know some Bolts, that's why I was asking. Who's that? Kenny Bolt? Did you go to West Side or Hannah? Probably graduated after me. The Bolts I know are all farmers. That's why I was asking where you live. Miss Clayton, where you at? There you are. Miss Cowart. I don't see Miss Cowart unless you change seats. Miss Dusky's here. Escobar. Where are you? Okay. Far. Far, far away. Far. No far. Freeman. Okay. Hammett. Where are you? Oh, okay. You had me for 110. Harris. No Harris. Harvey. Sorry. Harvey, where are you? Okay. Hayes. No Hayes. Johnson. Where are you? Oh, okay. You're Darren's. Okay. I apologize. I feel sorry for you. Did you tell him he had a big head? Oh, he knows that already. Yeah, he gets told that a lot. I'm not surprised. Mullins.
Yeah.
I'm glad you look like your mama. Mullins, where are you? Okay, Vanna. Dang old Vanna's name is Miss Mullins. All right, Murray is here. Yeah, he's here. Newton. Okay. Poor. I'm never going to learn y'all's names. Y'all know why? Y'all are so quiet.
I guess it's going to be the names and everybody calls each other by their last name.
You know, that's the only way I can remember. Poor. Did I call Poor? Who's your dad? No. Got a lot of Poors out there on McClure Road. That's why I was wondering. Whereabouts are your people from? Whereabouts? Belton. Lord, no. No, all my mama's people are from Belton, but I don't know any Poors from Belton. My mama's people were Shirley's. Shirley's and Elrod's. Mm-hmm. Tying with the Bannisters. Bannisters, Elrods. I think the Bannister, Elrod, and Shirley's, they all tie in together. I guarantee you your father, how old is your father? Roundabout. Okay. Your grandfather probably knows my uncle. Well, my uncle died like 3 years ago, but my uncle was very notorious, and most people have heard of him. So he was a Shirley. Perdesi. Okay. That name's not from around here. Where are you from? Where's your people from? New York. I was fixing to say that name's not from around here. My Robinson crew. There's one, there's two, there's three. The Robinson triplets. Miss Scarborough is here. Glad you made it back. Them Super Bowls, they're rough, ain't they? Schuler. Where are you? Okay. Simpkins. All right. Where are you from? You got a brother. You got a brother. Okay. I had a guy in my class 2 or 3 years ago, 2 or 3 semesters ago. Y'all could pass for brothers. Shadu? I know I messed it up. I'm just going to call you Dennis, okay? I don't want to mess up your name. Smallwood? Okay. Smallwood. You don't have anybody that's you don't have any kin that's a Spanish teacher, do you? Okay. Good. No, I'm just kidding. That's the only Smallwood I know, and she teaches at Clemson. I'm sorry, Clemson. Huh? In Florida. I got family that lives in Florida, the Shambleys. They're around Belglade, Lake Okeechobee, Belglade. Around Lake Okeechobee, southeast of Lake Okeechobee. You used to live down that way? You ever heard of them? You ever heard of the Shambleys? Well, there's a big clan of them down there. Dang old rich, dang old, wish I could be in that crowd down there. Dang old, I own part of the Miami Dolphins, dang old jet airplane. Vaughns, my two Vaughns, are they here? Yep. Williams, okay, another quiet one, I won't learn her name. And Wood, okay. Everybody's here except those not here, raise your hand. And let me pull up my email so y'all can see the pigs. Let's see, where's my email? No sneezing, please. I gotta turn the sound off because my mama and me sounding all country. I ain't gonna listen to that. Let's see if we can find it. There we go.
You already sound kind of country.
I am country girl. I'm refined now. You should have heard me my first semester. I was 3-syllable words everywhere. 3-syllable words out of 2 syllables. There we go. Dang old 13 of them. I'm trying to get it blown up, but it won't blow up. There we go. Can y'all see it now? There's 12. Well, I'm sorry. It's in a barn. It's supper time. And they had them side by side, so they just mixed them all up, and they don't even know which ones are theirs. It's just dang old buffet. I got one more video. They had them yesterday. Let's see. Save link as. No, that's rotated, but I got 2 Dalmatians. So those Dalmatians, they look like little puppies. They look like Dalmatian dogs. How do baby pigs die? Do you know? Their mamas sit on them. That's how. So we have to watch them, make sure they don't get squished. All right, now y'all are learning all about agriculture in Math 120. All right, what y'all come up with? Y'all got it done? Nobody's going to talk to me. Okay. You know what's good about the Excel spreadsheet? Look, y'all with me? I don't know how fast y'all have done it. I don't know if you've done. But right now it's 9:21. See it down there? Well, you can't see it. Why can't you see my clock? Oh well. 9:21. Here we go. Copy. Copy table. Go to your dang old Excel spreadsheet. Make sure you put it in the right place. Do not put it in a messed up place. Right there. Control. Paste. 30, 39, 40, 49, 50, 59. And you're done. It's still 9:21. I'm done. Everything's done. We got something mixed up. Oh shoot, I messed up. Hold on, right here. That's what I mean. You got to make sure you're in the right place. There we go. Now I'm done. Go down to the bottom and y'all check my answers. See what y'all get. What'd y'all get? Okay. Sounds like y'all got the right answer. Is anybody finished? What did you get, Miss Johnson? Of course. Took me what? 15 seconds? Some of y'all haven't even got it yet. Now, I'm not telling you you have to use the Excel spreadsheet. What I am telling you is that some of you that know it, know how to use the Excel spreadsheet, and are very frequent users might want to think about using it. Those of you that don't, you're just SOL and probably going to fail the test. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put a lot of these on there. Probably 2. Okay? 47 is the mean, and 11 is, or 12 is the standard deviation. And there's your bell curve right down here. Let me move it over a little bit for you. There. Blow it up a little bit, Vanna. I don't know if you can or not, but yeah, that's about it.
So since you already had all that on there when you copied it into it,
It did everything for you. The only thing, listen up. If you do the Excel spreadsheet, when you copy, and this is for y'all to remember, put it right here, it's going to replace this portion right here. What do you have to check? You have to check these over here to make sure they correspond with those. That's what you have to check. The rest of it, does it on if the classes, if you have the same number of classes. Now what I tell students to do, how many classes we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might want to do a spreadsheet for 5, 6, 7, and maybe 8. And when you go through the homework, you'll see some that are like that. All right, any questions? Now, you are responsible for all the homework up to 3.3. I don't know what today is. What's today? No, today, Tuesday, Wednesday. So next Monday, we're going to do 3.4. What's the last section in Unit 1? So what should some of you start saying to yourself? And I think right now, don't y'all have a test in y'all's calendar that we're supposed to be having right about now? It's a miracle. So those people, the 50% of the class that hasn't done a bit of homework, wait until probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week to do all your homework and tests. See what happens. Okay? Y'all get out of here. Have a good day. Somebody mash the button for me on the video. Right there on the right, you know where your thumb goes. Can you hit that button for me? Just mash it in.
I think I got numbers wrong somewhere.